I mean, they're going to be Super League clubs in a year's time, 2 years' time, well, a month's time in some cases, 5 years' time. So I don't understand this kind of division that's been drawn between the Super League clubs and the League One Championship. I understand where the money part of it comes from, but the moral weighting that seems to have been attached to either side, and either side portraying the other, the League One and Championship clubs portraying the big greedy Super League bully boys who don't want to do anything, and equally the Super League clubs where they're just the little children squabbling around the foot of the table. I don't get it either. I don't understand why.
I just wanted to call it out. I want to call a few things out about that sort of stuff because it doesn't sit right for me. From what I can see, any of the proposals, any of the squabbling from the Championship and League One clubs, and I'd say Championship clubs mostly, to be honest, because I didn't hear a great deal from the League One clubs, even though York were involved in the exact advisory group. I don't think
there's only one league club
same...
we've heard from repeatedly, isn't there?
Well, exactly. So other than Bradford dominating that thing as the biggest one of those clubs, I didn't really think that the other ones were along the same journey as them. Some of them, it felt like 5 people who were pretty divided amongst themselves, if I'm honest, and they wanted to talk about totally different things. They didn't want to follow the same agenda, but
also that the Batley chairman looks like he's kind of the long lost brother of Ian Lenigan. It looks like the two of them kind of could be some form of double actor.
Like one of them took their inheritance and invested it and grew a business, and the other one went down the pub.
Just went and spent it
definitely
today
didn't buy an iron.
Enjoyed himself.
Didn't buy an iron. But what I was sort of thinking though is, none of that represented the community game in my eyes. Them wanting more money for themselves would have had no benefit at all for the community game. At all. I get where, I think it might have been the Dewsbury chairman said, if the RFL cut their funding, what are they going to do? Where's the fat going to be trimmed? Is that going to be trimmed from the community game and the resources there? Because that's already not enough, and that's not right, and that doesn't help the sport. He gave the most comprehensive game-wide argument, but I don't get this desire for the ballot not to be secret. I don't get this desire to call out the clubs who didn't vote the way the other Championship clubs and League One clubs wanted them to vote. And we know from the way the vote went, so I worked it out to be, I think, 55 votes, because 24 in Super League, every club got a vote, and every club got 2 votes. In the Championship, there was 10 clubs with votes because Toronto and Toulouse aren't members of the RFL as it stands, so they didn't get a vote.
Which is bonkers in a way.
14 teams in League One got a vote, so I make that 24 votes as well, so we're at 48 votes. And I think, was it 7 votes from the wider community game, wrapped up with students, armed forces, Barla, all that sort of stuff. Yeah? That's what I think it was.
Schools got a vote.
Which makes 55, I think. Around about that. Which, whatever it meant about 37, 38 voted for the proposals. So that definitely means at least, maybe not at least, but we know Leeds didn't, so that's 2 votes the other way. So that's 2 of the, say, 17 that didn't go for it. Yeah? So we know that a third of the clubs went for it. And were they as united as they made out?
No, we know some would have defied the supposed whip, but I don't like describing it as a whip, because it feels like it's divided on some sort of civil war line. It's just stupid.
The people who wanted to call people out were the Championship clubs. And what was with Campbell saying, and I've got a lot of respect for someone who puts his money into a club and gets that club to host events for like the Armed Forces finals on Friday and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic what Featherstone do for the rugby league community. But
they host half the Challenge Cup, don't they?
Why was he so keen on calling out other clubs? I don't understand that attitude. Why was he so keen on knowing who voted what, so he could have a go at them? So
why
he could
does it
say
matter?
That they
why
weren't
does it
doing what
matter
was in
now?
the best interest of the game. But how do we know what he was doing was in the best interest of the game? Then what I thought was bizarre.
Why does it matter who voted what?
Exactly.
Now? The vote is done.
Move on.
Now we need to make this work.
What was completely bizarre
is in everybody's interest to make this work.
Yeah, but what was completely bizarre, Tim, was how he turned around and said some of those people voting are looking to offload their clubs or may not be running those clubs in a year's time, in 2 years' time. So his
Yeah,
response to
and?
that was, so now I'm thinking, should I bother putting my money in my club because I haven't got the vote I wanted? So basically, he's the same as them. He's not putting his money in long term, is what he's telling me. So where the amount of hypocrisy that came out of that group made me start to think: were they really interested in were they really the moral bastions, the people holding the torch for the little people of rugby league? Were they really that, or were they just trying to keep themselves afloat without having to?
One thing I do have on good authority from a member of that group is that I did make personal connection. This is exclusive. The buffet wasn't as good as it could have been.
Well,
there we go.
Good point to draw a line under it, Tim, and thanks for distracting me from my proper Mark rant about who was the people that cared the most about the wider game, because I think this solution delivers that. Okay.
One thing we could touch on just to lighten up.
Yeah.
I think it was Gareth Walker's suggestion early on Friday morning was that all the chairmen have a Royal Rumble style fight.
Well, why not?
I mean, that would be, and you could televise that. That could probably fill your hole in your next television deal.
Although
if the television,
because Bradford is
sorry,
up, but go on.
Do you think who
gap? Yeah, less fixtures, throwing events, pay per view.
Exactly. Have Super League hardman. You get your Jack Bussies who want to have a fight, and Jack Bussey versus Jamie Acton.
Jack Bussey eating challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. Start with some ears.
Yeah. Pig's ears. They're a thing.
Or
Dogs eat them. People who bite people can eat them too.
Yeah. But let's have a chairman's challenge. See who, or maybe you could make it like Superstars, have like a series of events for the various chairmen.
So
I'm
still on Dirty Players, Tim. So I'm thinking you could have like eating pig's ears. You could have like trying to pull the pips out of an olive or something. It's like a eye gouging kind of thing. Gareth Hock's got a front line on that one. Loads of stuff like that. Yeah.
But imagine Chairman Superstars. Just imagine, Ian Lennigan against Damien McManus on the parallel bars, seeing who can do the most dips. It would be brilliant. Everyone would tune in. It would get us noticed. It would get attention. It would get people talking about the sport, which is what we need. It's people talking about the sport, and then we can put the sport in front of them, and they say, well, actually, why did you bother with that? Just show me this.
Kind of like Rimmer's Castle rather than Takeshi's Castle. That's kind of...
Well, maybe we could get Ralph involved as well. Get him, he could have some sort of... Perhaps you could get him against Eric Perez on the... they like Gladiators have the the thing where they were on the podiums with the big sticks. Yeah, have a bit of duel going on. That'd be quite fun. Have it winner stays on. Perhaps have Hang Tough with... who could you put on Hang Tough? Perhaps have Ken Davey, or probably not. It's probably a bit on the old side now.
Yeah.
Perhaps have a couple of the younger chairmen, have them on Hang Tough, and then perhaps even have like a steering competition for the more elderly competition, like Big Train. Have it like that.
I think there's mileage in it. We need to come up with as we go along. We'll try and come up with a name, Tim. We'll this reminds me of like so many shows in the past where Tom would latch on to something and then just spend the whole rest of the show thinking about that. It takes us back to Kids TV. We're at episode 100.
I was going to say,
we can't move too far away from that. But okay. Other news: Wigan forward Macaulay Davies has been forced to call.
Sorry, has other stuff been happening this week? I thought the whole world had ground to a halt and was all had their attention on that hotel in Salford.
Well, I tell you what, if it was going to be, a gladiator style, if there was going to be games, I mean, we could get in that new Sky One thing where they go on like BMXs and that. Now that would be fun watching, like Eamon McManus trying to bunny hop.
Can we get Nigel?
Like
can we get Nigel Wood? Can we get Nigel Wood on a low cut BMX, please?
Wigan forward.
Anyway.
We have to go take on a somber tone for this one. Wigan forward Macaulay Davies has been forced to call an immediate end to his career following the discovery of a pre-existing brain condition. Scans reveal the 22-year-old has Chiari malformation, or Chiari, malformation, a condition where the lower part of the brain pushes down on the spinal canal, meaning he has to retire on medical grounds. Davies was sent to see a specialist as part of a return to play injury protocols after sustaining a concussion whilst playing for Swinton Lions when the pre-existing condition was discovered. So obviously... managed to achieve his dream of playing for the Wigan Warriors, not on as many occasions as he wants. Good luck in your future, Macaulay Davies.
No, it's crap, but it's good that we had these protocols in place that were able to catch this and mean it wasn't as serious as it could have been. So it is a good thing that we've got those protocols, and this is the sort of reason why we have them.
Yeah, and a mature kid to at 22 give up on his dream, realising that life is more important.
Yeah. In other news, Catalan winger Fluid Yaha is quitting the club to join top 4 rugby union side Agen. Anyway. Again, yeah. Yaha, who's 22, came through the clubs. He's not 22.
What did you think he was? Older or younger?
Older. I'd said he was 26 at least.
Nah.
Anyway, he came through the club's academy and has scored 12 tries in 16 appearances this season. Played in the Challenge. I don't know anyone's age, to be honest. I always get it wrong. And played in the Challenge Cup win over Warrington last month, although under contract until the end of November. The two clubs have reached an agreement for his immediate release to allow him to join up with the Union side, who started their season a fortnight ago. In total, Yaha scored 32 tries in 62 Super League appearances and also played internationally for France.
Yeah, I would say good luck to him, but I wouldn't mean it.
He'll be back.
Widnes have handed academy winger Sam Freeman his first full-time contract with the club on a 1-year deal. Freeman, who's 19, is yet to make his first team debut for the club, although did feature in last season's festive derby friendly against Warrington. So signing up more youth at the Vikings.
Yeah. And speaking of the Championship and League One, there's some good news for that group. The nominations for the 2018 Championship and League One awards have been confirmed. So in the Championship, Halifax head coach Richard Marshall, who won the award in 2015, is shortlisted alongside the Broncos' Danny Ward in his first year as head coach and Sylvain Halls of Toulouse Olympique. All three coaches successfully led their side into the qualifiers. The 4-man shortlist for the Player of the Year award features 2 Toulouse players in fullback Marc Karalia and Jonathan Ford, who won League One Player of the Year award in 2016, alongside Halifax captain Scott Murrell and Luke Briscoe of Featherstone Rovers at some point, and then he goes to Leeds and then he comes back to Featherstone, and then does he count in both awards, do you think?
Well, I don't think he's going to get Super League nominated for the Super League award, to be honest.
But he could do. He must be on the voting form.
Yeah, in theory. He certainly might be on Leeds' Player of the Year shortlist. Because he's had less crap games than anyone else.
him and Nathaniel Petru. Brandon Moore of Halifax is nominated for Young Player of the Year for the second consecutive year. Sheffield Eagles' Matty Costello and Harry Newman of Featherstone Rovers are also named in that 3-man shortlist. Down to League One, and Leon Price of Workington Town is shortlisted in his first year as head coach alongside Bradford Bulls' John Keir, good old Uncle Two Skulls, and hipster's favourite James Ford of York City Knights, who was also shortlisted in 2017. York winger Ben Cockayne and Connor Robinson are included in the 4-man shortlist for League One Player of the Year, alongside Sean Penkovic of Workington Town and the Bradford halfback Dane Chisholm, which is an interesting choice. The League One Young Player of the Year shortlist features 2 players from the Bulls. Winger Ethan Ryan and standoff Brandon Pickersgill are nominated alongside York winger Jediah Mavese, and the winners will be announced during the 2018 Betfred Championship and League One annual dinner in Manchester next Tuesday, the 25th of September, which I was invited to but unfortunately can't attend.
This day after episode 200 of Super League Pod, which is a far bigger event, I'm sure everyone will agree. Interesting that all the young players of the year are all Super League players on loan. I'm not sure if Brandon Moore now is on loan at Halifax or signed for them permanently from Castleford, but Matty Costello obviously has become a feature in the Saints side of late. Harry Newman, we know, is a Leeds Rhinos player. That's, to me, interesting. Because that's kind of the level of youth production, borrowing players. Interesting that there's no... We did have a fan news thing in on this, and somehow in the wash it got deleted. I'm really sorry. I think it was from Dave Cantrell, so I apologise unreservedly, Dave, but I think he probably mentioned the lack of Toronto and probably applauded Danny Ward being in the coaches. situation. So let's cover the lack of Toronto in the championship awards there.